What's up, plant junkies? Jody here for another plant video from plantjunkiecreations.com. Today I'm going to be going over the basic plant care of this unique philodendron known as the Philodendron Panduriforme, and also give you guys some tips on how to propagate this plant. I really wish I was able to have my larger plant right here so I could best explain myself and show you what I'm talking about, but I don't, so I have to work with what I have, and that's with my propagations here. So I'm going to try to do my best here. But the Philodendron Panduriforme I would consider an easy plant to take care of, and the reason I say that is because she grows quickly and she's somewhat drought tolerant. The light requirement for this plant can tolerate medium to bright indirect light, but thrives best in that bright indirect light. She also does really well in an eastern exposure window, receiving that morning sunlight. The water requirement for this plant just depends on what type of pot you're using, whether it's terracotta or plastic, and also what size. So for this 2.5, 3-inch tall plastic pot, I water this on a 5 to 7 day cycle. Anything larger than that, I typically will water 10 to 14 days. This plant is somewhat drought tolerant compared to other philodendrons, and the reason I say that is because what's unique about this philodendron is on my larger plant you can see this clearer, but it has bulbous, like a bulbous stem before it meets the leaf. So that holds more water, which makes it more drought tolerant. So rule of thumb for this plant is you want to let it dry out about 3/4 of the way before watering again. The soil requirement for this plant really enjoys a well-draining epiphytic mix, and this mix is a very simple mix, and what I use is Fox Farm Happy Frog soil medium as my base, and looks like this. I also add coconut husk, which are those coconut chips, charcoal, and some extra perlite to this mix. The fertilizer requirement for this plant, you typically want to fertilize 2 times a month during the growing season. And what I like to use, I rotate between, and the first one being Super Thrive, Gringo Rasta Rise Up, Hydrolyzed Fish Seaweed Emulsion, as well as CalMag. When propagating this plant, it is really easy, and I took about 6 propagations from this plant right here. It was a very tall plant. I got about 6 cuttings, and if you notice, all those cuttings had these aerial roots forming. You can kind of see the nubs right there. The lighting isn't the best in here because it's shining on me, but so what I did is, if I were to take a cutting from this, I would cut right below that node where those aerial roots are, and let it callus over for about, I'd say, a half hour to almost an hour, and then place them in water. It won't take long. It'll take about, like, I'd say 10 days, because the roots are already there, and then once you put them in water, it'll take off pretty quickly. So here I have one of those cuttings, the other one's sold, and this is the last of them. And I put them in soil, and once you take your cutting, put it in water, wait about 10 days for the roots to grow about 1 inch to 2 inches. Then you want to put them in soil, and you want to water that soil on a 5-day cycle. Keep it moist because you got to acclimate the cuttings from water to soil. So this has been in soil for quite some time. And here's a great example of like the bulbous situation. And I didn't really have to have that big of a node, but if you look, gosh, my lighting is so terrible. I have like a green nub growing right here. So I have a leaf and then a green leaf or stem situation that's about to take off. So this one that's for sale at plantjunkiecreations.com has already got a new growth point right here at this node, and then you got a stem and then another node, and here she's put off 3 new leaves, one just unfurling, and then on top of it I've also have a little sprout coming out from a node that's just beneath the soil there. So if you're interested in this plant, go visit plantjunkiecreations.com and get your hands on one of these rare tropical exotics. If you guys enjoyed this video, remember to click on that like button. Also, if you're interested in plant care content, click on that icon to subscribe to my channel.